Hi, everyone. Welcome to your yoga practice. My name is Trina. This is a mindful Monday practice. It's a mindful movement practice. And what we're going to do today is a style called Hatha. And Hatha is a term that is used to mean that we hold postures and we work on alignment. So we'll be holding postures for an extended period of time. Okay, so for some people, it's just a switch that you turn in your brain that says, okay, I'm just going to stay here. I'm just going to stay here. I'm just going to feel all these feelings that are coming up from my body, and I'm going to, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to stay in it. The only thing that I want to say about this particular practice, we are moving mindfully, but do not cause any pain in your body. So if you're experiencing pain, that's your body's way of saying, don't do it. Don't do it. So we try to really tune into the body so that we can start to feel these messages that the body is sending us all the time, all day long. Most of the time we're in our heads though, so we're not really paying attention to our bodies. So listen to your body. That's number one. And number two, if you want to come out of the pose, if you just can't take it anymore, if you just like, it's just too much, come out of the pose. It is not a big deal. You can absolutely make that decision and not have any shame about it, because it takes time for these postures to kind of teach us the lessons that they're supposed to teach us. And sometimes that lesson is, I need to take it easy today. I need to take it easy today and not do all that I could do on another day. So really be gentle with yourself and breathe. It's so simple, right? To say, just breathe, but really it's going to save you in your practice if you learn how to tune into your breath and really cultivate a relationship with your breath. So find your way onto your mat. I'm sitting up on 2 yoga blocks, but you don't need to sit on any blocks. You can also, if you don't have blocks, you can sit with your hips lifted on like towels. So feel free to make any adjustments to your body. So the reason I'm lifting up on these blocks is to relieve pressure from my low back. And it also helps my knees because I have really, really tender knees. So find your way into a cross-legged position, sitting on your mat, and go ahead and close the eyes. So with the eyes closed, I invite you to set your intention. Why did you show up today? What are you hoping to get from your yoga practice? And now that you've set your intention, just set that to the side. And take a moment to thank yourself for showing up on your mat today. You didn't have to do it. Some days it's just all we can do just to show up. So if you want to take the entire time we're practicing and lay down on your mat and listen to my voice without doing any of these postures, you're still practicing. Now flicker the eyes open. And we're going to start to cultivate the breath. So bring your elbows in toward your waist, bend the elbows 90 degrees, and then turn the palms to face up. As we inhale, we're going to lift the fingers up toward the ceiling, bending the elbows a little bit more. And then on the exhale, we're going to flip the palms to face down and then bring the forearms back to parallel. So on the inhale, the palms turn up and we lift the hands. And then on the exhale, we turn the palms down and lower the hands in line with the elbows. So let's go ahead and start here. Exhale all the breath and breathe in and out through your nose. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 3, 2, 1, and out. In. So I'm just going to be saying in and out. And I want you to tune into your breath. Just try to match your breath with your movement. In, out. In, out. Notice where it's jaggedy or rough. In, out. 3 more. In, out. In, out. Let's go ahead and do one more. In and out. Now let's rise up to standing. So we're going to find the middle of the mat, feet together or hip width distance apart. And we're going to cultivate the breath now standing. So feet together, hip width distance, it doesn't matter whichever one feels more comfortable for you. But make sure you root down into your feet. We're going to revisit the feet a lot today because we're going to be doing a lot of standing postures. So the goal here is to move mindfully. So what does that mean? It means every movement that we make, we want to do it with consciousness, so with awareness. So as I'm looking down at my feet, I have a visual of what my feet look like. So look at your feet and notice what they look like. Now tune into what they feel like. What do your feet feel like? Can you feel your feet from the inside? Can you push down through all 10 toes? Now engage your thigh muscles. Feel what happens when you engage your thighs. Do you feel how that roots you down even more into the ground? Now bring the arms down by the sides. Turn the palms to face out. And we're just going to circle sweep the arms. So that means we're going to lift the arms up and then we'll turn the palms to the sides and float the arms down. So that's all we're going to do. Lift the arms up and lower the arms down. So this is cultivating the breath. So when we go all the way up, if you're still trying, if you've already inhaled all of your breath by halfway up, just retain your breath if you can to go all the way up. And then whenever we exhale together, begin your exhale so that you can start to learn how to constrict the muscles in the back of the throat to create a smaller opening for the breath. So that may not be something that we're going to explore today, but know that that is a technique that we go into whenever we begin to practice more, is that constriction in the back of the throat. In fact, you know what? We are going to go into it today. We're going to go into it today because it's really helpful to practice it, even if it feels really, really weird. So whenever we do this breath, it's a breathing technique called Ujjayi, and it's known as the sounding breath, but it's also known as the victorious breath. And the victorious breath to me is really what I lean on it as, because it makes me feel really powerful whenever I engage in this breathing technique. So I want you to take one of your hands before we do our arm movement. Just take one of your hands and put it in front of your mouth. And I want you to act like your hand is a mirror and you're fogging a mirror. You feel that? Now, I want you to close your eyes as you do that. So close your eyes and fog your mirror on your hand. Now feel the muscles in the back of the throat. Continue to inhale and then exhale with your fogging of the mirror, or trying to fog up your glasses so that you can clean your glasses. Feel those muscles in the back of the throat. Now swallow a couple times. Now we do this Ujjayi breathing technique with the mouth closed, do it in and out of the nose, but we still have that fogging sensation of the constriction of those muscles in the back of the throat. So it sounds like this. I don't know if this mic will pick it up, but I do think it has in the past. So it sounds like this. I'm going to show you. A lot of people call it the Darth Vader breathing technique, which I find to be hilarious. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I always find that really, really funny. Now, see if you can practice that. Don't worry about it if it doesn't come naturally, because it doesn't come naturally for most anyone. And we're going to try this as we breathe. So let's bring the arms down by the sides, turn the palms to face out. Now tuck your chin into your chest as you breathe out. Now breathe in and lift the arms, 8, 7, 6, as you look up toward the ceiling, 4, 3, 2, turn the palms out, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift. Breathe in as you lift the arms. This is a stretching for the neck as well. So this breathing technique, I want you to imagine as you exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, breathe. And I want you to imagine that you're bringing in everything that is positive in your life, everything that's good, that brings you joy. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine, go ahead and exhale. I want you to imagine that anything that stressed you out today or even in the past is going away from you as you exhale. Breathe in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, out, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, breathe in, lift your ribs away from the hips, okay? Feel your ribs expand as you breathe. Lift, 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 grow tall through the spine, breathe out. Keep your thighs engaged and keep your toes pressing down. Now stretch the back of the neck as you tuck the chin. 2 more like this, breathe in. And out. And now relax. Now, chair pose, bring the feet hip width distance or together. I'm going to go ahead and bring my feet together for this chair pose today. Hands at the heart center, palms pressing together. We're going to do 3 versions of chair pose, okay? So you have plenty of time to kind of get used to it. Don't feel like you need to go to your maximum in this first one, unless you want to. Hands to the heart. And imagine that you're sitting back into an imaginary chair. One of my friends who went through my yoga teacher training program, I've known her for probably 15 years or so. She calls this pose dirty toilet seat pose. She calls it dirty toilet seat pose because this is the kind of the practice that you engage in whenever you go to like a sporting event or a concert and you don't want to sit on the toilet. This is the pose that you do. So get good at chair pose, right? Get good at dirty toilet seat pose. So we're moving slowly, and we're also moving the breath slowly whenever we get into this shape. So roll the weight into the heels. Feel that when you roll the weight into the heels? Did you feel your glutes fire up? Now sit a little bit lower. It's okay, don't be afraid. Sometimes we get afraid of these uncomfortable situations. Discomfort is really good in yoga. Pain is bad, discomfort is good. Push your toes down. Feel that when you push your toes down, how much more rooted you feel? Now find your breath. You can come out of the pose anytime you want. You don't have to stay. I find when I hold postures, even just a split second longer than what I want to, I learn something about myself. I learn about my tendencies. How's your breath doing? Can you relax your shoulders? Let go of that tension. Let go of the tension in your face. Soften the cheeks. 3, 2, 1. Stand up tall, arms down by the sides. Feel what you just did. Turn the palms to face forward. This is called mountain pose. Now close the eyes. Feel your heartbeat, right? Feel your heartbeat. Separate your breath from your heartbeat. So that means when the heart rate starts to go up, 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 we slow down the breath. Isn't that interesting? Heart rate goes up, slow down the breath. Not necessarily a deeper breath, but a slower breath. Okay, now we're going to do chair pose again. This time feet hip width distance, even if you had them hip width distance last time. So hip width distance apart. We're going to lift the arms up. Hands are shoulder width distance. So don't take them out to the sides, but have your wrists in line with your shoulder joints. Turn your palms to face one another. Now bend the knees, a little or a lot, but do roll the weight into the heels. Push your toes down. Now, as you're here, what tends to happen, especially after that fatigue starts to set in, is the arms kind of lose their strength or their vibrant nature. So I want you to bring some vibrancy into your arms. How do I do that? You bring some life into it, some awareness. So look up between your hands. Breathe in and out through your nose if you can. So as you look between your hands, stretch your fingertips away from the shoulders, but relax your shoulders away from the ears. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand tall, mountain pose, arms down by the sides. Feel what you just did. Breathe in and out. So hopefully we feel that the body is nice and warm now. Now moving on to our third version of chair pose. Bring the arms out in front of you, turn the palms to face down, have your wrists at shoulder height, fingertips, just a little bit of a gap between the fingers so they're not pressing together and they're not spread wide, but they're a gentle extension through the fingers, all 10 fingers. Relax your shoulders away from the ears. So 2 options for you in this version of this pose. You can lift your heels up. That creates more of a challenge as far as balance is concerned, obviously. If you find that your mind is a little bit active today, try this. Lift the heels up. Even if you fall, falling is perfectly acceptable. In fact, it's encouraged. Whenever we fall, pardon me, whenever we fall, we learn how to fall gracefully. Now that takes time to learn how to fall gracefully, but give yourself a chance to fall. Maybe you want your heels on the ground, that's fine too. Now bend the knees. So as we do this version of chair pose, I want you to have your spine straight. So it's like your spine is up against a wall and you're just leaning up against a wall. Now I want your hips to be no lower than your knees, okay? We don't want to feel any pain in the knee joints. We don't want to feel pain anyway, but no pain in the knee joints. If you feel pain in your knee joints, you need to come out of it. Because we don't want to create any pain. It's too much in life that gives us pain. So soften your fingers. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Remember that you don't have to believe your thoughts. Feel your body and not the label of the sensation, but feel the sensation without the label. It's not good, it's not bad. It is what it is. 3, 2, 1. Stand tall. Ooh, the arches of my feet are really, really tight. So we're in mountain pose again, feet hip width distance, arms down by the sides, palms face forward, breathe in and out. I like to close my eyes in mountain. Remember, the breath in is bringing in positivity, things that you want in life, like love, peace, calm. And the exhale is taking away little particles of stress. Every exhale is allowing the stress to go away. And let's take one more breath here in mountain. Now step to the top of your mat. Turn to the left, and now step your left foot out wide. So we've got a wide stance from front to back. We've got the toes turned slightly inward. So we're going to visit this pose a few times today. So hands on the hips, forward fold. So as we forward fold, whoo, the backs of my legs are like, girl, you haven't been paying attention to us recently. What are the backs of your legs saying right now? Find your breath and send your breath to where you feel it the most. So my hands are on the ground because of my body proportions and my flexibility. Your hands may be on your legs. Your head may be on the ground. The crown of your head may be on the ground. Find a position of your spine anywhere along this whole continuum from vertical all the way down that is right for you. Maybe you have your knees slightly bent. Maybe your legs are straight. Can you push through the outside edges of your feet? Can you engage your thigh muscles? Now bring the hands to the hips. Draw your elbow points back behind you as much as you can. Exhale all of your breath. And slowly, mindfully rise up with a straight spine. Nice job. Now turn your right toes to face the front of the mat. So we swivel on this right heel. Right toes are facing straight forward. Take the arms out wide. So now your arms are parallel to the floor. Bend the right knee. This is called Warrior Two. So we've got a little theme here. Warrior Two pose, victorious breath pose, victorious breath pose, victorious breath. Now, how do you do here? How are you doing here, rather? Are your wrists in line with your shoulders? Can you feel that whenever you bring your awareness inside without looking to see where the alignment is? Can you feel it? I was feeling my left wrist way forward in the alignment of my wrist to my shoulder. Can you reach your fingertips away from your shoulders? Can you bend your right knee so your right knee is over your right heel? Can you have your left leg straight? Your left toes are facing the left side of the mat. So you've got that outside blade of the left foot parallel to the back of the mat. Last 3, 2, 1. Keep your arms lifted if you can. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes in. So now the right blade of the foot is parallel to the front of the mat. Now turn your left toes to the back of the mat. So your heels are in one line. Your thighs are engaged. Let's bend this left knee. Where do you feel this the most? Bend your left knee just until your left knee is over your left heel. Don't let it go past the toes. Have your left knee right over that left heel. Then push your left knee back toward your pinky toe. You feel that left inner thigh? My left inner thigh is saying, hello, thank you for paying attention to me today. Now I want you to take your eye gaze and turn and look to your left middle finger. find your breath, and let's release this. Straighten the left leg, arms come down, turn the left toes in. So now both sets of toes are facing the left side of the mat, hands to the hips, forward fold down. So with the head down here, we breathe mindfully, slowly. Maybe the hands come to the outsides of the legs, maybe to the outsides of the feet. Just allow your head to hang. Now hands to the hips, elbow points, draw back behind you as much as you can. Exhale all of the breath. Come up with a straight spine, nice and slow, breathing in as you rise up. Take the arms out wide again. Wrists are in line with the shoulders, palms are facing down. Now swivel on your right heel so your right toes are facing the front of the mat again. Do you want a longer stance from front to back? Play with it and see if you want a longer stance. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But the only way we know is if we play. Right knee bends. Now we're going to move into a variation of our warrior two pose called bent knee triangle. So the way we enter this is we flip the palms toward the left side, stretch the torso toward the front of your mat. So you've got a long angle from your left heel all the way up through the left leg into the spine. And now just tilt your arms. So you have the right elbow on the inside of the right knee. Now turn the eye gaze up toward the left thumb. 3, 2, 1. Take the arms out wide, lift the chest up, straighten the right leg. You got this. This is the last one. Turn the right toes in, left toes go out. And now bend the left knee. So our bent knee triangle, flip the palms toward the left side. Slow down your breath. Don't give up. Do any version of this that feels good. Stretch forward, toward the back of the mat rather. And then after you can feel the alignment of your spine from the crown of the head all the way through the spine, down through the right leg, just tilt your arms. So the left elbow comes to the inside of the left knee and the right fingertips reach up toward the ceiling. Tuck your tailbone a little bit, push through the outside edge of the right foot. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Arms go wide, lift the chest, straighten the left leg, turn the left toes in, breathe in. And last time to come down, breathe out, forward folding. Can you feel how your heart rate changes? Can you engage your thighs? Can you push through the outside edges of the feet? Exhale all the breath as the hands come to the hips. Breathe in as you rise with a straight spine. And now face the front of the mat and step to the back of the mat. So we're going to do a balancing pose that's called tree pose. Tree pose, I mean, it's one of my favorite poses. It's got my name there, Trina, tree pose. I mean, come on, how can I not love it, right? So I want you to find your weight in the left leg. Push your left toes down like you are rooting your tree into the ground. So all 5 toes are pushing down. Now bend your right knee like you have a little kickstand. I don't know, would this be like a little sassy position? I'm not sure what this would be called, but the right toes are on the ground, right knee is bent, hands at the heart center. So this is tree pose right here. Now, you can stay right here this whole time and feel the weight shifting. Maybe you fall, maybe you don't. I'm just going to guide you through it step by step to different versions of the pose. So when you find one that you like, just stay there and breathe. Fall out of it, get right back in. So hands at the heart center, right knee goes out to the right side. Remember, you can stop at any time. Right toes land on the top of the left foot. Another option, the bottom of the right foot lands on the left calf. Now, one thing I want to caution you about is putting too much pressure on your knee joint. So here we're going to avoid that left knee joint. And if you want to take it into a different variation, you can place your right heel inside the left thigh. Now, I use my right leg to bring it up there. And inevitably, once it gets there, it just like falls down. So the trick there to get that to stay is to really push your right heel into the thigh. Now this feels a little bit, I actually do feel balanced today. So find a version of the pose that you feel stable in. And then lift the arms up toward the ceiling. Take the arms out wide into a V. And if you want to, look up. Mountain pose, release down. Find your transitions moving nice and slow. Hands to the heart center. Left knee bends. We're in a kickstand. Or the left knee goes out to the side. Root down through your right toes. Maybe the left toes land on the top of the right foot. Maybe the left foot lands on the inside of the right calf. Maybe the left foot lands on the inside of the right thigh. Maybe the arms lift up into a V. And this is called swaying tree if you want to blow in the wind. And back to mountain pose. Arms down by the sides. Palms face forward, breathe in. And breathe out. Now we're going to make our way down to the ground. So take a moment to thank yourself for your standing portion of the practice. And lie down on your back. So before we go into any other poses, we're going to practice Shavasana. Shavasana is like the reward for practicing. Bring the arms down by the sides, comfortable distance away from the body with the palms facing up. And bring the feet out as wide as the mat. Let your toes just flop open to the sides. And close the eyes. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your breath. And usually whenever we find stillness like this, the mind likes to make itself known. Just allow your thoughts to come and go. No need to judge or resist. Notice where your breath is moving. Is it moving the chest? Is your breath moving the rib cage? Is it moving the abdomen? Now flicker the eyes open, bend both knees, find your feet flat on the floor, about 6 inches apart or so. Draw the right knee into the chest and interlace the fingers either on the outside or underside of the knee. Now, if this is really uncomfortable, coming and compressing the torso with your right thigh, you can bring your right knee out to the side a little bit. And if you can't grab with both hands, try grabbing with your right hand. And now let's take this right knee out to the right side so we feel a stretch on the inside of the right thigh. Bring your awareness to your right thigh, right at the groin, and trace the awareness up to the inside of the right knee. And then we're going to slowly transition, moving into what's called figure 4. So cross your right ankle over your left knee and let your right knee reach away from the face. This is the way that my dad used to sit in a chair. He would sit with his leg crossed just like this. But if you look down, it kind of makes the shape of a figure 4 if you had the leg extended up like this, right? We're not going to do the leg extended up today, but we are going to have this right ankle glued to the left thigh. Okay, keep that right ankle glued to the left thigh. This is the shape. You don't need to take it any further. But if you want to explore what it feels like to open up this right hip, let's go ahead and draw the left thigh into the chest. If you can, if you can't, don't worry about it. If you can, reach your right hand through the legs and the left hand on the outside of the left leg and try to grab and interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. So interlace fingers behind the left thigh, if that's available to you. If it's not available to you, the left foot stays on the ground. Okay. If that is available to you, the right knee is reaching away from the face. There's so much sensation available to us in this pose. Now, if you want to take it into a different sensation, lean your body, kind of roll it just a little bit, maybe 2 inches or so toward the left, and bring your awareness to where you feel this. So we bring the awareness to the spot you feel this the most, and imagine every exhale is taking away a little bit of tension. Can you draw your right toes toward your right shin? Can you reach your right knee away from your right shoulder? And slowly and mindfully release out of this, placing the left foot on the floor and then the right foot. Now feel the difference between the sides. Now draw the left knee into the chest, interlace fingers either on the outside or the underside of the left knee. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create compression through the torso so that we can really put pressure on the internal organs. specifically here, the descending colon. Just finding that pressure, squeezing, breathing. And now take the left knee out to the side. I'm holding the inside of my left knee with my left hand, and my right hand is just resting on my torso. Feeling a gentle stretch through the inside of the left thigh. And slowly, mindfully moving into figure 4 on the other side. Now that we know what that is, left ankle crosses over the right knee, and then reach the left knee away from the face. So this is phase 1. Breathing and staying here. We're moving into a different variation, drawing the right thigh toward the chest. Left hand goes between the legs, right hand goes behind the right thigh. Interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. So we do want the left toes pulling toward the left shin. This just protects the knee joint. Reach the left knee away from the left shoulder. Never moving to a point of pain, but welcoming, even inviting the discomfort. Relax the shoulders, relax the forehead. And maybe you want to roll just an inch or two over to the right. Don't forget to breathe. Three, two, one. Slowly, mindfully unwinding. Now roll over to one side and then push yourself up. And have a seat. Extend your legs forward. I feel better already. Bend your right knee and let your right knee fan open to the right side. So have you felt your right inner thigh? We felt the right inner thigh in our warrior 2, in our tree pose, in our figure 4 pose, and now we're going to feel this in a forward folding position. So find your right heel as close into the groin as you can get it, and just push your right heel into the inner thigh, into the groin. Flex your left toes. Turn your shoulders and your torso toward that left leg. Breathe in and breathe out, round down, tucking the chin, rolling the shoulders forward. And see if you can breathe into your back body. So if that causes tension in your right knee, bring your right foot to the inside of the left calf. It's okay if your left knee bends. We just want to feel sensation on the back of that left leg. Now let's come out of this. So I want to show you, I want to just bring your attention to my body and my practice. So what I just did is I took a block and I put it underneath my right knee because I was feeling a little bit of tenderness in my right knee. So know that anytime you feel something that doesn't feel just right, I have a solution for you. So let me know after any practice if there's any position that doesn't feel quite right. I have a way that we can make the pose adapt to your body so that you don't have to adapt your body to the pose. Now let's go to the other side. So we're going to extend the right leg straight. Then we're going to bend the left knee. And then let that left knee fan open. And find your left leg anywhere along this right leg as you want. My joints feel very grateful that I'm paying attention to them today. How about yours? Can you flex your right toes? Turn your torso, your chest. Basically, try to point your sternum like it has a headlight in it. Try to point it toward your right foot. Tuck the chin into the chest. Roll the shoulders forward and round down. Maybe, so this pose, by the way, is called forehead to knee pose. So if you want to put your forehead on the knee, go right ahead. The key here is to round the spine. We want to feel a stretch along the back. This is one of the best poses that I've found for opening up the low back. So if you have low back pain, this is a great one to do. A nice long hold will help relieve a lot of tension in the low back. How's your breath? Can you send your breath on the inhale into your back body? And now let's release out of this. Now bring both feet together. So find the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. So you're making a diamond shape with your legs. Okay, so there's about a forearm's length between groin and heels. Hands on knees, hands on shins, or hands on ankles, or even interlaced around the toes. Tuck your chin into the chest. Feel the opening through the neck. Roll your shoulders forward. Feel the opening through the back. And now round down as much or as little as the body allows. Can you feel this in the inner thighs? Can you feel this in the outer thighs? It's not about going further, but it's about going deeper. Not deeper into the pose, but deeper into the experience of what your body is feeling. Now let's release out of this. Now our final seated posture. So because I have knee tenderness, typically, especially whenever it's cold, I'm not going to do the full expression. I don't even want to call it that, but I'm not going to do both legs in this pose when we go into it, but I am going to show you, okay, so that you know what it looks like. Bend both knees, feet are flat on the floor. This is called cow face, by the way. Take your right knee out to the side. Right heel is going to slide underneath the left leg. So now your right heel is on the outside of the left hip. Pardon me. Your right knee facing straight forward. So we want the right knee to be in line with the sternum. Okay. Now lean over to the right. Heel toe the right foot over as far as that right foot, sorry, left foot. Left and right might help if I told you the right one. So the left foot is going to heel toe over to the right. And now we're going to stack the knees on top of one another. Isn't that amazing? So my right knee is saying, no, thank you. So I'm going to honor that and I'm going to extend my bottom leg straight. Feel free to do that if you want to as well. Otherwise, you have your knees stacked on top of one another. The outside edges of the feet are pushing down into the mat and the spine is tall. So it's not a comfortable pose, but it is very, very powerful and effective. Tilt forward just a little bit with a straight spine. Reach the right hand up toward the ceiling. Bend your right elbow like you're giving yourself a pat on the back. So your palm is on your upper back. Left hand goes out to the left side. Turn your left palm to the back of the room. Bend the left elbow. So now the back of the left hand is on the low back. Roll your left shoulder blade into the spine and then lift the chest. Lots happening, right? Breathe in and out. Let's release this. Unwind the arms, unwind the legs, extend both legs out straight. It's an intense pose, I'm telling you. Now bend both knees. Take the left knee out to the left side. Slide the left heel to the outside of the right hip. Left knee is straight forward in line with your sternum if you can get it there. Heel toe the right foot over to the left side as you lean into that left hand. So keep heel toeing, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe as far to the left and back as it can go. And then stack your knees on top of one another. So the outside edges of the feet are pushing down into the ground so that you can really feel your hips. So for many people, it's helpful to kind of make adjustments. So we do want, if it's available to your body, we do want both hips on the ground. So both glutes are really grounded. My right hip is coming up quite a bit because I've got a lot of tension here in my right hip. So I'm not forcing it down, but I'm encouraging it. So I'm trying to consciously let go. Okay. So notice that difference between forcing and consciously letting go of tension. Now lift your spine tall and tilt forward. How's your breath? Lift the left arm up, bend that left elbow, give yourself a pat on the back. Right arm out to the right side, turn the palm to face the back of the room, and then bend your right elbow. So now the back of the right hand is about on your sacrum. It's the low back. Roll your right shoulder blade into the right spine, and now tilt forward. Do you feel this more on your left hip or your right hip? Or both? One more breath. And let's unwind. And make your way onto your back into Shavasana. So after you find your way onto your back, now if you have back pain, when you extend your legs out straight, a great version of a final relaxation posture is to bend the knees, find your feet out wider than the hips, and then let your knees fall inward toward one another. So knees can be bent, legs can be straight, hands can be on the torso or arms, a comfortable distance away from the body with the palms facing up. And just close the eyes. And I want you to feel how the body just settles down into the mat. And try to imagine that there is a shape that is kind of the chalk outline of your body, made just for you. You know, whenever you sit on a beach. You kind of wiggle a little bit to get that form just right to feel supported. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle so that your body can physically settle into the shape. Now bring the awareness to the forehead. Now try to widen the forehead. Now with the eyes closed, can you soften the eyelids? Can you relax the muscles behind the eyes? Let the teeth slightly part. Let go of any tension in the jaw. And let the tongue rest behind the top row of teeth. Now become aware of your breath. Now begin to notice the transition between inhale and exhale. Can you make that transition smooth? Can you cultivate a deep abdominal breath? As you inhale, the belly expands. And as you exhale, the belly falls. And begin to come back into the room, back into the body. And start to move fingers and toes. Rolling over to one side. And then use the arm strength to push the body up to that same seated position we began with. And join the hands at the heart center and bowing the head into the heart. Just surrendering the thinking mind into this place of compassion. Thank you for coming. And thank yourself for your practice. And thank you for allowing me to guide the practice. Namaste.